So we have topic today, that is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis consists of two Greek words, photo and synthesis. So both the words has its own meaning. Photo means light and synthesis means to make or prepare. Simply it means preparation of food in the presence of light. Preparation of food in plants in the presence of light. Light means sunlight during daytime. So photosynthesis, photo means light, synthesis means to prepare or make. Photosynthesis is a fundamental process in plants by which they prepare their own food, also called process of making food, photosynthesis. Uh, Actually, how can we write the definition of photosynthesis? That is, photosynthesis is a biological process. It is a biological process. It is done in the living organisms, in biotics, in biology, living organisms. So we call photosynthesis a biological process in which green plants prepare their food, means glucose, from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight, in the chlorophyll, in the green parts of the plants, by the release of oxygen. All these terminologies will be explained in further slides. Simply you can say photosynthesis is a process by which green plants prepare their own food from glucose, and their food glucose from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight, in the chlorophyll, and release with oxygen. This is the complete definition of photosynthesis. The word chlorophyll was used in that first slide. Actually, chlorophyll is a green color pigment present in all plants and cyanobacteria. Some bacteria are there which are called cyanobacteria. They also have chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is a green color pigment. All those organisms which has chlorophyll, they can prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight, they can prepare their own food. So green plants and some bacteria like cyanobacteria, they have uh, chlorophyll, a type of bacterium that is, and the chlorophyll is able to absorb sunlight. When the sunlight is absorbed, so they can prepare their own food. And what is the purpose of absorbing sunlight? When the sunlight is absorbed, it provides energy for photosynthesis. To start photosynthesis, it needs energy. So this energy is provided by sunlight, which is absorbed by chlorophyll. The green color of plant is due to the chlorophyll. As chlorophyll is green color pigment, so all the plants which seems green in color, that is due to the chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is present in all the green parts of the plants, like leaves and stems. There is a chemical reaction of photosynthesis. What actually chemically done in the photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide combines with hydrogen, H2O, with water molecules of carbon dioxide combines with H2O, water molecules, in the presence of sunlight, in the chlorophyll. In the presence of sunlight in the chlorophyll, it produces C6H12O6, glucose. Simply we say it, this is the formula of glucose, C6H12O6. And some oxygen molecules and carbon molecules are produced. So this is the chemical reaction of photosynthesis. Now here, in every chemical equations, there are products and reactants. A reactant means the all the substances that react and produce something, and product is the those substances which are produced by the combination of reactants. So reactants we have on the left side of the arrow. So we have carbon dioxide and hydrogen water molecules. They are reactant with us, and those substances which are produced by the combination of these two by the reactant, they are called products. So we have product glucose, oxygen, and water molecules. So in chemistry, the chemical equation should be balanced. Should be balanced means the number of product and the number of reactant should be same. Now see here, carbon in the reactant, there is only one carbon in the reactant. We have one carbon in the reactant. Oxygen, we have two oxygen here and one oxygen here. So three oxygens are with us in reactant. Hydrogen, we have just two hydrogen in the reactant. Now we are going to see that either we have the same number of products in our chemical equations or not. So come here, carbon. Carbon we have one here, which is uh, in the carbon dioxide, but here we have six carbon, C6H12O6, six carbons in the glucose. So it means the balance of carbon is unbalanced, it is not equal. And hydrogen, oxygen, we have three here in reactants, but here in products we can see O6 in the glucose and O2 in oxygens, and also one oxygen here in water molecules. So we have 1, 2, it means 3, and 6, it means 9 oxygen we have in the product. It is also unbalanced, it is not equal. And also hydrogen, we have two hydrogens here in the reactants, and H12 and H2. H12s and H2. H12 is in glucose, so 12 hydrogen, and 2 hydrogens are in water molecule. So we have total 14 molecules. So it means it is unequal equation. Now we have to balance it. We have to equal it in the next slide. In this slide, you people can say that we had only one carbon in that previous slide, but by putting we had six carbons here, C6. So we have six carbons in product, but in reactant we had only one carbon. Now we are going to put 1 6 with this oxygen, with this carbon, so the number of carbon will be balanced, will be same, will be equal. In product we have 6 carbon here in glucose, and here we have only one carbon. By putting 6 here, the number of carbon will be 6. So we have carbon number is balanced here. But by putting 6 here with this carbon, this 6 is also for this number, is also for this oxygen. So this oxygen, so we have already two oxygen, two atoms of oxygen. When this multiplies with this number, 2 6 are 12, so the number of oxygen will increase. 2 6 are oxygen. So now it is another problem for us to balance oxygen. Oxygen was already unbalanced, so now we have to balance it. Oxygen 2 6 are 12, so we have 24 oxygens here. Why? Because we have another 12 by putting it here. So number of oxygen is increased here, so we have to put 1 6 here in the products with O2. By putting this 6 O2, 2 6 are 12, so we have 12 oxygen here in the product and 12 oxygen here in the reactant. 2 6 are 12, and here you can see 2 6 are 12. Our oxygen is balanced. Now come to the product and glucose, H12. While in this equations, by not putting this 12 here, before that we have just 2 hydrogens, but here we have 12 hydrogens. By putting 12 here, our number of hydrogens will become 24. 2 12s are 24. So we have oxygen 24, but again another problem is created because we have 12 hydrogens here in this reactants. So 12 hydrogens, and here if we multiply this 2 with this 12, so we have hydrogen 24. So another problem is created by putting 1 6 here in H2O. We can manage the number of hydrogen. 2 6 are 12. 2 6 are 12 in the product, and 2 6 are 12. Sorry, 2 6 2 6 are 12 in the product we have, and this hydrogen with 12 12 hydrogens are this, and 2 6 are 12. 12 12s are 24. So we have already in the reactant 2 12s are 24. So hydrogen is also balanced. So now we have balanced equation. How like you can see. First see the number of carbon. There is only one carbon, and this 6 is for this carbon. So we have 6 carbons in the reactant. Here we have 6 carbon. Now we are going to see in the product either we have 6 carbons or not. We have only one this carbon, there is no any carbon. It is oxygen, hydrogen, oxygen, oxygen, hydrogen, and carbon. This is carbon, we have only 6 carbons. So it means our carbon is balanced. Now come toward the next one. This is oxygen, we have 2 oxygen, but this 6 is also for this oxygen. When we multiply this 2 with the 6, 2 6 are 12. So we have 12 oxygen, and also we have this oxygen, only one oxygen, but this 12 is also for this oxygen. So we have 12 oxygen here in water molecules, and 2 6 are 12. So 12 oxygen atoms are here in the carbon dioxide molecules. So 12s are here and 12 oxygens are here. So total we have 24 atoms of that oxygen. And come toward the hydrogen, we have the next one. Here we have 12 hydrogen. We have just 2 hydrogen, but this 12 is for this hydrogen. So when we multiply this 2 with this 12, then we will have 2 12s are 24. 2 12s are 24. So we have the number of hydrogen in the reactant, that is 12. 6 carbon, 24 oxygen, 24 hydrogen. Now we are going to see here the same carbon is here, carbon is 6. So our carbon in reactant and in product is balanced. 12 hydrogens are here, 12 hydrogens are here, and 12 hydrogens we have here. By multiplying this 2 with this 6, 2 6 are 12, and 12 hydrogens, and 12 hydrogens we have already in glucose. So we have 24 hydrogens. 12 12s are 24, and this oxygen we have O6, 6 oxygens are here, and 2 6 are 12, 6 and 12s are 18, and we have oxygen here, and this 6 is also for this oxygen. 6 oxygens are here, 18 plus 6 are 24. So now we have a balanced equation. Importance of photosynthesis. It is important because it is the basic need of life. Food is the basic need of life. So food is prepared in the photosynthesis. Therefore photosynthesis is important for plants. Plants are autotrophs. Autotrophs means those organisms that can prepare their own food, and we will explain this autotroph in the next slide. Animals and other types of organisms are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means that can't prepare their own food. Heterotrophs depends directly or indirectly on the autotrophs. Now this is telling the importance of the photosynthesis. The topic is importance of photosynthesis. We say that food is the basic need of life because food is prepared in the plants during the photosynthesis. So photosynthesis has this importance. Plants are autotrophs. Autotrophs mean those that can prepare their own food with the help of photosynthesis by photosynthesis. So here we have other organisms, heterotrophs. So all the heterotrophs depends are directly or indirectly on autotrophs. Means all the organisms depends on these autotrophs, which are called plants, and photosynthesis take place only in autotrophs. So this is also the importance of photosynthesis, that it takes place in autotrophs while all the heterotrophs depend on the autotrophs. All the forms of life depend on photosynthesis. We can say simply that all the forms of life life, they depends on photosynthesis, means they depend on autotrophs. Autotrophs and heterotrophs. Actually, autotrophs, the word auto means itself. Troph means food. When an organism itself can prepare its food, it means they are autotrophs. And autotrophs are those living organisms that can prepare their own food by photosynthesis, are called autotrophs. Hetero means different, trophs means food, means they depend on different, they get their food from different sources, so they are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are organisms, living organisms that depends on autotrophs for their food. This is simply intake of water in photosynthesis. How water intake water, how photosynthesis intake water and carbon dioxide. uh, Water is from soil by root ear. They intake this through xylem tissues. It reaches to the leaves, while actually photosynthesis take place in leaves. A small portion of this water is used. Mostly the water is diffuses through stomata. In the equation you can see we also have water molecules in the end. That was the water molecule that was produces through stomata diffusion. Intake of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is taken from air through stomata into the leaves, because carbon photosynthesis take place in the leaves, so they needs this carbon dioxide. First diffuses in the intracellular spaces, then enters in the green cells. Okay. First carbon is absorbed when absorbed by the leaves through stomata. It first diffuses in the intracellular spaces, the spaces between the cells, among the cells. That spaces are called intracellular spaces, and then enters into the basically in the green cells. Green cells mean those cells which has chloroplast. So then the photosynthesis will start, and there is a series of chemical reaction in the chloroplast. Many chemical reactions take place in the chloroplast. Splitting up water into H2 and O. In the chloroplast, when water comes from the roots and oxygen come from the ears, and there is a splitting of water molecules. H2O is splitted into two parts. H2 is separated and O is separated. Splitting up water take place in the chloroplast. O is released in the air. This oxygen is released in the air. As we say, O2 is produced during the photosynthesis, and H2 combines with carbon dioxide. When it combines with carbon dioxide, uh, this H2 combines with carbon dioxide. Then they make C6H12O6 by combining of this carbon dioxide with this H2, which 2 comes from the splitting of water. So they make C6H12O6 glucose, and glucose is the product of photosynthesis. Glucose is the product of photosynthesis. So oxygen also released in the air, and C6H12 glucose is also formed, and water is also splitted in the air through stomata. So this you can see here. This is a simple leaf we have here. In this leaf there is chlorophyll in the leaf cells, in the green cells. So we have here in the atmosphere Firstly, this carbon dioxide come from air into the leaf through stomata. Stomatas are tiny pores, tiny holes in the leaves, and they are microscopic holes. So this carbon dioxide come from the air into the leaves. uh, Sun, when sunlight falls on the surface of the leaf, then this process starts, and this carbon dioxide come from the air through stomata. And we have xylem tissues, xylem vessels here, and from the soil they absorb water, and this water comes into the xylem tissues and reach to the leaves, in the leaf, in the chlorophyll, in the grain cells. Then they produces what? Glucose. Okay, this is the glucose produced by the photosynthesis. So photosynthesis take place here. The reactant carbon dioxide come from the air, sunlight, in the presence of in the chlorophyll, in the presence of sunlight. Waters come from the soil through xylem. CO2, H2 plus H2O is equal to, in the presence of sunlight in chlorophyll, is equal to C6H12O6 glucose, and O2, that is oxygen, and also H2O. Some molecules of water are also produced. Role of chlorophyll in the trade of light energy. How they trade the light energy, means sunlight. How chlorophyll play its role in. Chlorophylls are photosynthetic pigment. Photosynthetic pigment, all those pigments, they take place and they help in the photosynthesis. That absorb visible light. Chlorophylls are photosynthetic pigments uh, that absorb visible light. Visible light is the light which is visible to us, means sunlight or simple light. Pigments present in the thylakoid membranes are in the cluster called photosystems. Thylakoid membrane is the membrane present in the chloroplast. Chloroplast is the cell organelle. So in the thylakoid membranes, there is cluster of pigments. They are called photosystems. There are two photosystems in which this photosynthesis take place. Chlorophyll is the main pigment. Chlorophyll is the main pigment in which this take place. Chlorophyll mainly absorb blue and red light from the sunlight. So red and blue have the high wavelength, therefore they can be absorbed by chlorophyll. Two types of chlorophyll, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, are there in the plants. Chlorophyll A is most abundant. It is most abundant, found in the plants. Chlorophyll A. Only 1% of sunlight is absorbed falling on the leaf. Absorbed energy is used by photosystems to produce ATP and NADPH, nicotinamide diphosphate. This is the another product. What is visible light? Visible light is also called white light or simple light. White light or simple light. White light, the sunlight we call white light, or simple light, visible to human eye. The light which is visible to human eye. Uh, uh, Human eye, EYE, sorry, here we spelling mistake. Combination of all the colors is invisible light. Visible light actually consists of 6 basic colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. So these 3 colors are there. These 6 colors are there. Sorry, there are 7 colors. Basically there are 6 colors, but another color, indigo color, is also there. So this visible lights consist of these 6 basic colors.